Test. Okay. Good to go. Good morning. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Test. Testing, test. All right. Hey, this girl. First one up, first one in. Good evening. Good morning. You know, girl, I got to bed at 10 o'clock last night, like I was hoping, and I slept all night long. And I feel normal. Muy bien, gracias. Y tú? I feel rested. I feel, now I gotta go unlock the phone. Stand by, Ghost Rider. Jamie. What's up, brother? Well, girl, I don't have that problem. Right. Why does it look so bad quality on... Oh, that's probably why. Never mind. Moose! Good morning! What's up, brother? Okay, see if I can juggle all of this here. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. I have the camera set up properly. Oh well. This is a special week of Doc MacKay live. I don't know, is it a like a special morning? Oh, I'm out of the picture now. You see, I'm trying to get it so that the American flag, the plant, and everything is kind of in the picture, but it's hard to group it when I'm using this vertical live. If I'm using the landscape, it's easy. But anyways. Here, you know what? I could do this. Here. See, I'm supposed to do all this before I start, but I tried. I know, I'm usually late night, early morning, I know. Well, I need to make a decision, but I think my best healthy routine is going to be morning. That way I can get to bed at a normal time, wake up at a morning time, and be able to do morning duties and other things that I need to take care of. And I can go live, 3 times a week or something like that. Yeah, 10 people. Good morning. Who's out there? Oh my gosh, I got 10 sets of eyeballs. 20? Woohoo! Come one, come all. Come in, guys. Stop swiping. Fill room up. Let me see who you are. Reveal yourself. Grab a coffee. The forecast for today, although I don't know if it's going to hold true, but is thunderstorms and rain all day today. But the amount of rain is very small. So it looked like it rained this morning because it's wet outside. And so we'll see what the forecast does. River! There you go. Awesome. I got mine. Raise your coffee. Who's got coffee? Yeah, raining. Well, if it's raining in New York City, it's raining in New Jersey. I'm 2 hours from JFK, right down the Parkway. I'm sure you know where I'm at. Yep. Yeah, who would have known that a San Diego boy would be um, living in this part of New Jersey? You got another typhoon, you see? I thought I heard correctly. Was it you, girl, that told me there's 2 more coming? Now you're experiencing one right now? I just was on a live stream. Well, I wasn't on. I visited a live stream, a lady down in General Santos City. And it wasn't raining there. It was, she was outside with her family in the dark. So. You're in Detroit, sunny skies here. Well, it's clear. Well, I got the drapes closed, but it's relatively clear out there now, but it rained this morning, and the forecast is rain until 10 p.m. Off and on thunderstorms all day today. And that's my dad's hometown, Detroit. Yep. And River, first time here, River, I think. I like the title. I take it you do a little bit of fishing somehow, somewhere. Well, you and me both. I'm primarily a largemouth bass fisherman, and anything else that decides to take my bait. Samuel, welcome back. Yeah, Typhoon loves that part of the world. I'm doing good. I told a girl I actually... Oh, you're in the Philippines, Melody. Saan ka nakatira sa Pinas? No, I haven't, because it's been so hot and it's just murder. Although, maybe I'll go fishing this afternoon after the sun goes down, or the sun sets, and then I'll head out. Not after it sets. Late in the afternoon. And then I'll fish from like 4 o'clock until dark. Oh, you do? Awesome. Well, I'll have to look up your... Is that the name of your company, Riverfront Baits? I'll have to look you up and see what you got. Oh, from Pasig. Okay. Sorry, Sammy. And Sammy, I'm sorry, a guy, girl, I'm zooming in on your guy, that's right. I think you told me yesterday. Is that right? Yeah. Lil. No, wait, I know a Lil. Oh, did you watch that video of me and Lolo capsizing? Oh my gosh. Melody, you're in Rizal. Hey, right above you, girl in the mirror. She's in Rizal. Find out where you guys are. She's in, I always forget, girl. What's the name of the neighborhood? You told me before. Awesome. Well, Melody, are you growing your YouTube channel? I take it. Oh, well, cool. Awesome. I hope the best for you. Eastwood Residences. There you go. Lil, I was a paramedic in the civilian world, and in the United States Navy, they call the in the United States Marine Corps, they call their medical support people doc. So let me clarify. The United States Navy provides medical support for the United States Marine Corps. And they call the Navy corpsmen, the Navy medics, they call them doc. So that's where that name comes from. Marie! Yeah, Marie, girl, is the one in Gensan. It's not raining in Gensan, right, Marie? You were just outside and it wasn't raining out. Miss MCC channel. You know, that is the spelling of the actual spelling of my last name. MC. It's MCC. But the original spelling in Scotland was MACKAY. So I decided to incorporate that as I was told some American changed the last name to MCC. Thank you, Marie. It is the same time as the Philippines, Lil. Just the opposite. It's morning time. It's umaga here, gabi in the Philippines. Umaga for the Americans out there is morning, and gabi is night or evening in Tagalog. Well, God is good. He praise God for the military. Lil is from India. So it's the same time in India, correct? It's I'm sorry, Lil. I thought you were from the Philippines. Isn't it 8:10 in the evening in India? Oh, it's 5:40. It's only 5:40? Wait, 5:40? What in the world? That's a crazy time. That's where MCC. Yeah. Cool. Well, do you know what my initials are? Can anybody guess? Girl might know my initials. What are my initials? Girl in the mirror. You say it's 5:40 in India? 5:40. Oh, that's a half an hour before. Okay, so wow, that's a crazy time. I asked, do you know what my initials are? The letters of my first, middle, and last name. Do you remember? So it's only not 12 hours, but Kita, something like that. Well, I got my coffee, dear. A dark roast with lots of cream, honey, and one Splenda. Honey. Well, we have what? The Philippines, we have India. Kita, where are you from? And Michigan. We got now M.
You guys got to tell me. I love hearing where you all are from. And now I can see your hair. You're a girl in the profile picture there. Yeah, tell me where you're from. Japan. Are you really? What is good morning again? Ohayo gozaimasu? Wait. Is that good morning? Ohayo gozaimasu. Well, I can barely see you now. You look pretty. You got black hair. I can barely see the corner of your. Are you wearing a hat or I can't really tell. Ohayo gozaimasu. Yeah, that's correct. Gozaimasu. Mushi mushi I know ne. Mushi mushi I know ne. I know ne. I know ne. Mushi mushi I know ne. So desu ka. My father taught us that when we were little. He was stationed in Japan when he was in the Navy. Gosh, back in the 60s, I think. There, everybody's expressing their knowledge of Japanese. Konnichiwa. Ohayo gozaimasu. Mushi mushi I know ne. Now, are you in Japan also? Arigatou gozaimasu. How long am I on live? Oh my, 2 or 3 hours. Oh, you're in Maryland, or I mean, yeah, Washington D.C. Is that correct? Well, you're not far from me. I'm 3 hours, about 3.5, 4 hour drive from you. I'm in New Jersey, Atlantic City area. Up 30 years. Are you Japanese, Kita? Or you're born and raised in Japan? Oh, MC. Oh, you were. Gosh, I almost coughed and spoke at the same time. You never guessed my initials, girl, did you? Anyways, yeah, I'll post my initials. There's my initials there. MC. And again, my last name is MC, capital C, instead of MACKAY. What is kampai? Sorry, teach me. Oh, bonsai, kampai. What is kampai? Well, anybody growing their YouTube channel? I know a lot of the Filipinos are using live streams to increase their subscriber base. Anybody else? I'll give you a moderator and you can share your channel link so other people can visit. Oh, Samuel, you said you thought I was in the Philippines? No, I was married in the Philippines. Oh, and Melody, you're in Antipolo. Oh, well, you're all in the same group. Taguig, Antipolo, Pasig, Tondo. What's the other? There's more. Yeah, raise your hand if you're. Yeah, it's increasing a little bit. I'm like at about 1,000, I think. Girl. Does anybody else want to grow their subscribers? Just let me know. So, Marie, I'm going to call you Marie, or Mary. What do they call you, MC? They call you Mary or Marie? What is your plan for the next hour or two? You're going to stay awake until 10 o'clock p.m. or what time is your normal bedtime? Lisa JP, Japan also, Lisa, by any chance? Yeah, I'm familiar, Melody. Thank you, though. Yeah, the more people you can get to play your videos on an ongoing basis. Thank you, Riverfront. Are you trying to grow your YouTube channel, Riverfront? Yeah, I have the required amount of subscribers. I'm just working on my watch hours. Been there, done that. You were saying you just started your YouTube. I'm assuming your YouTube channel. If you want to grow that, I can give you a suggestion for the beginning, similar to what the Filipinos in the chat room are doing, and that is tell you what, I'll make you a moderator, and then that'll enable you to drop your YouTube channel link. Just copy the channel link and post it in the room, and many of these people in the room will go to your YouTube channel and they'll give you a subscriber. So that is one way you can start to increase your subscriber base, is by going to live streams, and especially these Filipino live streamers. They primarily use their live streams to promote other YouTubers trying to grow their channel. So for instance, if you come into a live stream that has 20 people in the room and you post your live stream link, potentially you have 20 people clicking on your link, and they'll all go to your channel, subscribe, give you a thumbs up, hit the bell icon, leave a comment, and watch one of your videos, particularly a short video. So they can, after they're done doing that, they come back into the live stream and they post their link, and other people are clicking on their link, and it's like a exponential opportunity to get subscribers relatively quickly. As well, Kita, thank you if you're leaving. Yeah, hit the, you know the drill. Hit the thumbs up and the bell icon. That way you know when I go live and post videos. Oh, I'm sorry. Who was it? Lisa, you're in Japan? Is that right? I probably missed your answer. I'm scrolling back to see if I missed it. But, oh, you said I am. No, that's Keith. Oh, I bounced between Maryland and DC. Where are you? Yeah. And well, my wife has family in Laurel, Maryland. What is that, about 45 minutes from DC? James Compton, welcome back. I know I'm usually, as you remember, I'm on usually all hours in the morning after midnight, but I finally converted my hours last night, so I was asleep all night long from 10 p.m. until 6 this morning. So I'm awake and doing the morning routine the last two days. And forgive me, Riverfront, if you know the drill already about growing your subscriber base through live streams. And James, I asked you this before. Are you in Compton, California? Forgive me, I'm trying to recall. Oh my gosh. A 54? Seriously? Come on, was it 50? You sure? 54? That's over 4 feet 6 inches. Awesome. Lisa, you're not, wait. You're not, no, you wouldn't be. Sorry. There's another live streamer in Japan. She had a special needs child, so I thought maybe you are her with a ninja name, but no. What looks fake in the picture? I see your profile picture is a vehicle. What is that? Some kind of a Jeep or Wrangler or something. I don't know. What is it? Oh, Virginia. Gosh, I just had to. It's like I see your VA, and it didn't click when I was looking at it. It's like, what? VA? Oh, Virginia. That's right. Okay. Oh, James, you were the one that wanted to do the fishing. No way. Are you? You may have caught a state record, but again, you probably didn't record it officially. kind of hard to do that when you're catching things you're not planning on. Gotcha. Okay, James. Well, I need information from you if I'm gonna, and honestly, I'll drive, I'll drive down in that direction, and maybe we can meet somewhere, um, you know, halfway or in between or whatever, or I'll do the drive and meet you. If that's you, James, I think it's you. Again, my email is in my description of my channel. Just click on the description and scroll down, and you'll see email address, and then it asks you, make sure you're not a bot. And then once you click on that, the email address will pop up. Yeah, just drop me an email and we'll start there. And then it'd be easy for me to, take off on a Friday and do, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Excuse me, goodness. Yeah, perfect. I actually did some, whenever I'm in Maryland visiting the family. I mentioned before, I tow my trailer and my kayak and with the family. And then once I get there, it's almost routine to drop them off, take all the luggage out of the car, put it in the room, and then I go back out to the car and I immediately get on my phone to see which body of water I can find, and off I go, if the time is correct. But anyways, I did some fishing behind a Home Depot in Maryland. It was a gorgeous, pretty, just covered with lily pads. Well, I shouldn't say covered, but the edges and the middle just had bass written all over the lake or pond. I'm going to say relatively small lake, and it was behind a sheriff facility, police or sheriff in Maryland. And yep, I just was able to roll the kayak over to the edge of the water and launch it without too much of a problem, and then didn't really catch a whole bunch, but it was fun and beautiful just to be in there. So yeah, that's what I'm fishing for, mighty CDG is largemouth bass. That's my my focus. What's your thoughts about the future of the USA? Well, we need to get somebody, i.e. Donald J. Trump back in office, and he'll change not only the USA, he'll change the world for the better. And so that's my thoughts. And the rest is history. At least the next 4 years will be. I'm just going to bounce around on the subject here. I'm seeing Sammy and Lisa's conversation. I'm always interested in anything medical. So if you don't mind sharing what condition your child has. I've ran on everything from 23-week fetuses to 108-year-old men. So it's always interesting to that was my job for many years, was to walk into people's homes and begin an assessment on somebody I've never met before, whether it was a special needs child or an elderly person or a pregnant woman, about to deliver her first child. So it's interesting too. How about you, Mighty? What is your fishing background or interest, if any? I love your comment though. Any bass? Like the very first fish mentioned, any bass? Speaking of bass, I have a blast here. My local lake, it's a state university, about 2 miles down the road. And it's right on the campus of the university and literally in my backyard, and I get to launch right into it. And it has secret 5-pound bass in there that are just, you can't help but keep going back there because I've caught multiples. So I'm always looking. I just caught another 4+ pound, actually 5, probably. I didn't get to weigh it. No, did I weigh it? I tried to measure it. I was in a tournament, online tournament, and I measured it, photoed it, and turned out I didn't have the camera. I didn't have my phone, so I was using my action cam to get the video that I was going to download a photo from or take a photo from. And the camera it was on, but it wasn't recording. And I ended up measuring a 21-inch bass, which is 5+ pounds. And I didn't get it on camera. And I released it. I thought I was getting an underwater shot when I released it, and the camera wasn't rolling. I couldn't believe it. I was so depressed. That was just, 2 weeks ago. Actually, I've got the video. It's in my channel. You'll see it. The name of it is I Can't Believe This Just Happened, or something like that. Or My Worst Fear Happened. I think that's the name of my little short video of that. Yeah, unbelievable. You'll see me in the video. I give a voiceover when I'm sitting there with my head down, kind of shaking it, going, I can't believe I just did this. I measured it. I was like struggling to get it in the frame of the camera. You know the drill. You got it on your lap. You're making sure it doesn't flip off the measuring board, making sure the mouth is closed. I'm trying to pinch the tail together to get 21 inches. Oh my gosh. And then when I went to review it, it wasn't there. I thought, no way. Really? So anyways, oh, you're in upstate New York. Awesome. Yeah, I did, wasn't in upstate, but I entered a tournament in, I think if I remember the name, it's called, I still have it on this, what was the name of it? Let's see. I'm looking at my bookmarks here. Pascoag Reservoir. Pascoag. And there was like 2 or 3 or 4 bodies of water that were in the tournament, and they were all relatively in the same area within, a 5-mile loop. And we could, if you wanted to, you could leave, you could use or fish out of any one of the 4 bodies of water. But it's not very practical to be, at least my kayak or any kayak that's fully loaded, to pull that thing out of the water, put it on a trailer, secure it, drop all the rods and lay them down so you can drop over to another body of water and then relaunch. It's kind of burning time when you could be fishing. So you tend to stay in the lake that you choose for the duration of the day. Skibidi toilet brush. What a name is that? I like it. And you got a little head figure on the toilet. Okay. Well, if you're still there, Skibidi, sorry I didn't see you pop in there. Lisa, did I give you a moderator, Lisa? Are you growing your YouTube channel? Yeah, let me know if you need a jacket, as they call it. Getting into war, helping Israel. You're talking about the USA? Okay, let me yeah, just let me know if you need a jacket and I'll give you one. I think you should have a jacket, Lisa. I didn't see any. No, my media exposure is to an absolute minimum anymore. But I saw the recent bombing. Didn't Israel launch a rocket at somewhere going after that high value target? But I haven't heard any. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Americans are involved in any war around the world in a covert way or public knowledge. Lisa, sorry. You're welcome. Picard, you have two children, your boy and your girl? Is that correct? Let's see, let me think of a crazy or exciting 911 call that I ran on in all my years. I mean, there's so many. Sometimes it takes somebody talking about something and then I remember, oh yeah, what about that call? Let me see if I can think of a crazy, cool one to talk about. You know, when I was going through training as a paramedic in the civilian world, let me scroll down here so make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, Mighty, that's exactly why I avoid the media. They're rampant, it's horrible. just absolutely horrible. And so I try to not, I try to hear, in particular, President Trump speaking, like him, an actual video of him speaking, and listen to what he says, not what CNN said or Fox News says or anybody else says he said. It's just wrong. And so if it ain't him speaking, I'm not interested. As far as world events, I do peruse YouTube and subscribe to specific channels. So I'm pretty much just focused on the channels that I subscribe to, which is more entertainment than anything. And then in the process of, scrolling through the subscribe channels, I'll come across, current event type stuff. And I would be lying if I said I'm not distracted by them and curious, and then I end up clicking on it. And more often than not, I'll click on it and it's some news channel talking about, something, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch that. And I click over to something else. Or I'll actually, seldom will I spend some time and actually listen to what they're saying. So I get bits and pieces, and a lot of the times I'll ask my wife or my son and say, hey, have you guys did you hear about the, and if they say yes, I'll say, what'd you hear? And then I'll go that route. But otherwise, I'm pretty closed to the current events. All raise back. Now, when you got AU, are you in Australia also, raise? Along with Pinay Ate in Australia? Are you living in Australia? Raise vlog. What is the question? Have you ever seen anything that can't be explained? Here. Oh, that's a good one. I'm assuming you're referring to UFOs or other unexplained events, or and so on. There was one in particular stands out. I joined a party of, let's see, there was three or four of us, and we were summiting Mount Whitney in the Sierra Nevadas in California. Mount Whitney is the highest peak in the continental U.S. At over 14,000, don't quote me, whatever it is, 14,400 or something like that. So I was with a longtime mentor of mine. He invited a fellow runner, marathon in particular, and myself. Seems like maybe there's just three of us, and we were heading up the approach, and it's a grueling, meandering uphill slog to get to the base of Whitney, the actual rock massif. And then somewhere in between that hike up, I turned around to rest, and you can see the Bishop Valley below you. It's the desert down below, the desert basin down below. And I looked into the distance, like right around eye level, and that put me about, I don't know, however many feet, above the horizon. And I watched an object going at an incredible rate of speed, like a straight line that was, I couldn't even see it, but it was a blur, and it was traveling it was cutting through the horizon, from right to left. And, we all know what a passenger plane looks like when it passes over the sky and, or, other objects, a bird, etc. But this was a craft, and I was thinking, my God, it's a satellite. But it wasn't up in the air, like in the sky. It was low level, relatively low level compared to, where passenger planes fly and or satellites or a shooting star, type thing. This was like right at the top of the peaks. If you know that central part of California, the Sierras are in the west part of this basin, and the other White Mountains are over on the east side of that basin, of that valley. And right around peak level in the east is where I saw this object going from right to left. And I mean, it was as quick as, and I thought, holy my, what was that? And I brought it to the guy's attention, and it was gone by that time. And they're like, what? And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I saw this something just go right across that line. Perfect. Just like, and it was gone. I never knew, what it was. And I thought, what in the world? What was flying at that low? And yeah, no idea what it was. Couldn't identify it. It was just like a little dot, but it was cutting through the air. You could see the line, the trail or whatever, just going. And it covered from right to left within a matter of maybe 2 seconds. And I thought, now that was really fast. No, it wasn't even white. It was like, how something's a blur cutting through the atmosphere? It was just kind of like, and it was gone. It was like, whoa! Didn't even make a sound. It was just in the distance. I remember kicking back. I was sitting down, just relaxing because, you're tired. And I turned around to look at the view, which is gorgeous. And it was just from right to left. I thought, what in the world? Anyways, no, I don't know. It could have been. But you know what? Again, what in the world travels that fast? You'll never see an airplane, traveling up in the blue sky. I'm actually looking up, in my house, but you'll never see an airplane, traveling across the blue sky at that fast. Now, if you have a jet, I live right here by Atlantic City Airport, we have the one, what number is there? The Air Force reserve unit out of there, and they fly their F-16s, and they're screaming above our house all the time, and of course they'll cover ground, but I mean they're a couple thousand feet up in the air right above my head with an incredible roar behind their afterburners. But it wasn't like that. They'll cover, of course, a relatively short distance quickly, but this was at a distance. I mean, like, probably, I don't know, 20 miles out or thereabouts. And it was just a little tip of an object cutting through the. Yeah, there's no reason for me to make up something like that. It's like you know what you're seeing, and you're just following it, going from right to left. It covered from, it's like horizon to the right along the horizon, all the way to the left until I couldn't see it anymore. And I thought, what? Satellites are up in the sky, At night, you'll typically see them. and you'll see it, and those things are moving. Similar to kind of like what a satellite does. You'll see a satellite just cover the whole sky, relatively quickly. But yeah, other than that, like experiences with, something in the room or spirit type, ghost type experiences. Nothing that was, unexplainable. Although I've heard some pretty good stories from credible people, that again just wouldn't make up something like that. Navy SEAL in one that is, I don't know if you've seen his channel. It's called, I always get a brain fart. I was just listening to him last night. He was a co-host on a mic drop live stream or podcast. And he's a Navy SEAL. He's got his own channel. It's called Something 7. He's got the long beard and the long hair. He's an ultra runner from Arkansas or Tennessee or somewhere down there. Chad. His name's Chad. He has a story that is incredible. During an operation in Iraq or Afghanistan, it's incredible to listen to him. You got a Navy SEAL that is in harm's way at the time, experience what he experienced. And it wasn't just him, it was him and his platoon that he was with, or his fire team that he was with. And the 3 or 4 of them in a room experienced something that was unbelievable. And the sequence of events that happened after that actually you'll have to listen to him tell it, because I don't want to spoil the story, but I think his name's Chad Wright, but his YouTube channel is not Chad Wright. It's something, it's got the number 7 in it. Something 7. But to hear his story, and then what came of that story ultimately, how it changed his life, and to this day he you have to hear his story. But he experienced a ghost, we'll call it. Not only him, but him and his team. And he ended up calling, not to spoil the fun, but he ended up contacting somebody, I think on a sat phone, to speak to somebody about it. Like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what just happened to us. And then he was put in contact with somebody else who actually spoke to him. I don't know if it was like FaceTime or Messenger or whatever, and actually was on video chat. It was either video chat or speakerphone, and he was instructed, on speakerphone as he walked around the room with the radio or the phone, as this pastor or somebody cleared the room. Yeah, it's really good, really good. When it comes from a person credible like that, you just, what else did he, what else would he be, or why else would he be telling a story like that if he didn't, really experience it? And it worked. Okay, IGM, do a good job, whatever it is you're going to do. I say that with in fun, and at the same time I'm dead serious. And you notice that? A dead serious, badoom. Yeah, don't miss. Here, on that note, here, I know how one subject rolls into another, but speaking of loss of life, let me, if this isn't too inappropriate for some people in the audience, but it's true. I mean, it really is. Something I was taught when I got into emergency medicine was my preceptor, actually, the guy that was my trainer in the field. He happened to be my neighbor across the street when I was growing up in Southern California. He told me, it's hard to kill somebody. It really is. It's you know, you know what you think of when you hear somebody say that, and you know what the media feeds you and what Hollywood feeds you, but in reality, it really is hard to end a life if you're trying to do it, or if you're trying to do it to somebody else. You can put a bullet in somebody's head, you know, and still not kill them. You know, they'll live, especially if they get, you know, treatment, but they may not have a functional life afterwards, but their body continues to live. So, you know, you can put a bullet in somebody's heart, you know, and if they get immediate care, depending on how damaged the heart is, you know, they can survive. More than likely not, but it's hard to, you know, hit a heart directly, you know, and obliterate it without it functioning anymore. I'm just giving examples of areas of the body, you know, that will end somebody's life. But other than those two places, you can chop off an arm, you can chop off a leg, you can, as morbid as this sounds, you know, you can put a knife, you can put a bayonet in somebody's belly, you can do a lot of things to a body, but it's hard to kill somebody. So when people say things like, I'm ending my life here, so just wanted to say hi before I go, my comment back was, well, do a good job, you know, don't almost succeed, because otherwise you're going to end up on life support, and you know, you're not even going to know what the rest of your life is consists of, and some machine's going to keep you alive. And it's true. You know, even illnesses and disease processes and cancers and so on, you know, that will make you sick, and definitely, you know, heart disease will eventually kill you. But even heart disease, you know, if you catch somebody at the right time and the right place, and you intervene because they have a clogged artery and they're having a heart attack, you know, you can help them survive. And you know, if it goes untreated, yeah, it'll kill you. But even then, you know, bodies continue to leave, as morbid as this may sound, they continue to live, you know, even after a heart attack. You know, the body doesn't all of a sudden just stop functioning. It kind of lingers for a little bit, or a lot of bit at times, before, you know, everything ceases to function. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. And it's true, you know, when I was told that, and then my experience in 20 years of being in the business, yeah, you know, ran on many fatalities, but usually the fatalities were because of an end stage disease process, and or, you know, a beheading, or yeah, it's usually the prior that I mentioned, an end stage disease process. You know, somebody that's elderly, that's suffering from illness or sickness already, and then it eventually, you know, people die, and that's what we all are going to do. Trauma, it's really hard to kill somebody with trauma. Unless you blow them up. Even then, as we all know, people survive being blown up. They may not look the same anymore, but the head is usually what kills somebody. Yeah, I shouldn't even say that, because you can suffer a catastrophic brain injury and you're never going to be awake and you're never going to see the light of day, but you're going to end up alive, for the next however many years without a head that operates normal. Yeah, like I say in most of my live streams, I don't know if anybody's still listening out there. It looks like there's 3 people in the house. Yeah, just make sure you know Christ before you decide to leave this earth, before you take your last breath. God forbid you don't know the truth before you leave the earth, or before you take your life. You don't want to. What is it? Eternity is too long to be wrong. There you go, River. Hoorah. Isn't that the truth, though? It's as simple as that, and people want to make it complicated, but, put your trust in something that is 100%. And, yeah, that's it. Just make a decision to let somebody explain to you why Christ came to the earth and why he did what he did, and then go from there. It's your choice. It is that simple. What makes it complicated is when somebody doesn't want to, or they want to argue with you, or resist, and so on and so forth, that's usually the case. Most people don't want to hear it, i.e. my own family. But it changed my life. Yeah, it filled my eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and fingers with information that I never knew existed. Never knew existed. I'm looking at my coffee table as I say this, and the literature that I have filling my coffee table, i.e. been there, done this before, but these scientific journals, that I subscribe to, for God knows how many years I've been subscribing to this. I get it quarterly every 3 months. It's science based on a creation worldview, based on in the beginning God created worldview. You get a magazine that is National Geographic quality, that's got articles from esteemed scientists in all fields of science, including, and I always forget the list, so I got to refer to my books. Another one, Evolution, the Greatest Deception in Modern History. Another, more material that talks about geology, biology, genetics, medicine, paleontology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, astrophysics, and astronomy, all based on a creation worldview as opposed to an evolutionary worldview. And it's been rocking my world for over 17 years. And it's so good, I can't stop. It's, I'm relearning sciences all over again. Yep. It's the truth. It's just so good. It makes so much more sense. And that's all because I made the decision to let somebody explain to me why Christ came to the earth. and who he is. And it's like, how is that related? Well, that's exactly. It's all relative, related. In the beginning, God created. That's the first supernatural thing you got to make a decision to allow in your life. Right there. Very first sentence. In the beginning, God created. Yeah, if you make a decision to believe that, everything else fits. That's it. Yep. Oh, the name of the website, real easy, River. It's creation.com. Period. Creation.com. Type in any subject, any word, any search subject, any search word, any question that you have in their search bar on their website, creation.com. Creation.com. Didn't even know it existed. This magazine, the very first issue of this magazine, came out in 1978. And that's 2 years before I graduated high school. And I thought, what? This has been around before I got out of high school? Why don't I know? Why wasn't this shared in any classroom that I was being taught? Why? Why did I find out about this 35 years after high school? When it existed 2 years before I graduated high school. And of course it's gotten bigger and expanded, all over. It started in Australia. That might be one reason why I didn't hear about it, because it originated in Australia. But now they've got offices throughout the world, Australia, USA, and other countries. I think South America. Yeah, it's all sciences based on a creation worldview. Yeah, exactly, River. It's a good example is you're just now finding out about it today. I don't know what your age group is. I'm 62. Well, you can kind of do the math. If I graduated in high school in 80, I'll be 62 in August. Yeah, it was quite literally upsetting when I found that out. I thought, wait a minute, wait. This type of science study was being performed by esteemed scientists in their field when I was 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. I was hiking the hills of the Sierra Nevadas. As a matter of fact, I told you about the Sierra Nevadas. Well, I was doing a 10-day trek in the Sierra Nevadas then when I was 15, 16 years old. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, well, you're not too far behind me. Yeah, literally, and I can't encourage it. I can't brag about it how do you say that? I can't help but brag about it because it's a key source that I use. Not only the magazine subscription, but video purchases, soft cover, hardcover books is how I got this material, was through that website. And yeah, it just continues to fill my mind. It's what I grab now. Instead of reading a book or any book, I don't read any book anymore. I just want to know, a particular thing about a particular field of science, and where do I go to get that? Well, I go to the Word of God. What's the Word of God say about it? And then if that, then what would you expect to find? That's the whole concept that I learned. So if this is true, what would you expect to find if this is true? And that's the whole basis behind these fields of science. If there was a great flood, what would you expect to find? Lo and behold, you find what you see today. If in the beginning God created, what would you find? What would you expect to find? Lo and behold, everything fits. Everything makes sense. That's it. It's all based on that very first sentence. If that, then what? Yeah, and like I showed you just briefly a moment ago, if in the beginning God created, then evolution becomes the greatest deception in modern history. That's an example of. Yeah, that's it. All based on that first sentence. Everything is based on that. So if you make a decision, right, to allow that into the equation, in the beginning God created, then everything after that has to be true, because it puts doubt on that very first sentence if you're not going to allow everything after it to be true, right? I'm looking for the word in my head and I'm not coming up with it. It puts doubt on the credibility, is it's everything. It puts everything in question, if you don't believe in the beginning God created, then everything after that has to be accurate. Yeah, it's not piecemeal, oh, I believe that chapter and that verse, but not that one. Yep. And then as you do that, as you allow that, it just opens the doors to just so much more. And I've got a whole stack of videos. Give me a second. I'll reach it. Just as an example of some of the videos that I've gotten off that website. Darwin, the voyage that shook the world. This is incredible. If you ever go to YouTube and look up Dr. Robert Carter, Bob Carter or Dr. Robert Carter, he puts an incredible video on YouTube called, well, it's not this title, but it's based on this, Mitochondrial Eve and the Three Daughters of Noah. He's a geneticist, DNA, in particular in biology, but he's since now turned his focus towards human genetics in DNA. It's incredible, the videos that he puts out. Ancient DNA, high-tech cell, evolution's Achilles heel. If you haven't seen this one, recommended highly. This is not from that creation.com. But if you've ever seen The Principle, you gotta see The Principle. The universe is trying to tell us something. Gotta listen to The Principle. The Moses controversy, patterns of evidence, creation, not confusion, etc. So that's the end of my stack there. But so that's what the last 17 plus years is where this is what I watch and listen to and read. I don't like the internet I mentioned earlier. I eliminated TV per se, at least primetime TV, for that very purpose of trying to free myself from the life that I used to live in, that I thought was normal, the evolutionary worldview. Get my mind out of that and to put it into a creation worldview. And that's why I ended up with all this stuff and continue with all this stuff. It's so good. Why go to anything else? It really is. It's just crazy. I can't help talking about it. I can't help reading it. I can't help watching it. Good stuff. Yeah, that's a good point. It was 2008 when I pulled the cable. It was actually a program I got introduced to here in South Jersey, actually, when I moved here. My story is, in a nutshell, I just happened to drive by what turned out, which is now my home church. But at the time, I didn't know about it, and I would drive by it on a regular basis back in 2007. What was it, 2007 or 2005? 2007. And had a banner out in the front yard, the front grass, and it said, "Reformers Unanimous." And I thought, what in the world is Reformers Unanimous? What does that say again? And I read it after I passed it the second time. Reformers Unanimous. I thought, what the heck is Reformers Unanimous? The first thing I thought of was Alcoholics Anonymous. And I thought, but it doesn't say Alcoholics Anonymous. It says Reformers Unanimous. But maybe it had the word addiction on the banner. It's changed since then, but anyways. But I remember thinking, maybe it's Alcoholics Anonymous, AA. But I kept reading it as I drive by it. I'd take my daughter to work, and when I would return home, I'd pass it again, and it said Reformers Unanimous. I thought, what the heck is Reformers Unanimous? So anyways, make a long story shorter. Carter! What's going on, dude? Dude. Always questioning as to whether you got a bass in your profile picture. Don't get me started, Carter. No, anyway, so to finish the story, I had to go in to find out. I had to inquire to find out. And yeah, so I went in one day, and the door was open to the church, and an older lady greeted me, and I told her, yeah, I saw this sign out in the front lawn, and she said, oh yeah, let me put together some information for you. So she put together a brochure and a handout, paper, and she put a paper clip on it, and she handed it to me. She says, yeah, they meet at Friday night at 7 p.m. And I think it was a Wednesday night, because the midweek service, I know now, is on Wednesday nights. And so it was probably a Wednesday, and she says, yeah, they meet on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Come on in. So I ended up going, and that was the beginning. It was June of 2007 or thereabouts, May or June of 2007. And it turned out to be a Christ-centered program for sinners. Do you know any? Yeah. So it was it was the beginning of a 17-year journey, to this very day, that got me plugged into how to. It's a discipleship course is what it is. It was originally developed for, quote, those with addictions, unquote. And, as soon as you hear the word addictions, people always associate that with drugs or alcohol. Where in reality, an addiction can be anything. You can be. I met a guy that was addicted to, speaking of videos, renting videos. He was like 60-something years old, which is my age now. And he had an addiction to going to that red box video, that videos to go, the vending machine, where you put in the money and you select the video you want and it drops down and you return it within a certain amount of days, or you buy it if you don't return it. Sleeves are free. They should have been free a long time ago. You're paying for those things. I don't quite know what you're referring to there, Carter. Sunaina, I'll ask you that question. How old are you? Now, Carter, have you been in here before? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't know if Carter was. I thought I recognized his screen name. But, so Nina, are you 89? What year were you born? I could do the math real quick. Well, I'm just a youngster compared to you. I'm 60. I'll be 62 in August. And where are you from, Sunaina? Yeah, so anyways, the program. Oh, from India. Well, welcome to my live stream. What part of India are you in, Sunaina? Yeah, what was I was alluding to something by bringing up that program, and that is it introduced me to a organized method of studying the Bible, and it made it interesting. It's fun. It takes work. It's a curriculum. And instead of spending your money on whatever it is that brought you to the program, whatever vice or stronghold that you had that you were, dumping your money into, they encourage you to, dump that money into the program. And it's a nonprofit organization, so you buy your own material. So the curriculum, the material, the books that the curriculum consists of, costs money, and so you put out $5 or $10 or $12, for a particular piece of curriculum, so you can, continue with the program. And there's no really time limit. You do it at your own pace. The program works if you work the program, and it changes your whole view on. It teaches you in the beginning God created, and how that changes one's whole perspective. It literally changes one's life. if they so choose to believe that in the beginning God created. Yeah, that's what it is. It was developed in like the late 90s or the early 2000s by an individual, Steve Currington. And unfortunately, Steve died at a relatively early age, like 45 years old, while in an airport traveling from point A to point B. He started feeling sick and took him to the emergency room, and he ended up having a massive heart attack, and it killed him. He ended up having like 7 children and a wife, and ended up, leaving them fatherless. But the program continued. Somebody else within the organization took over, and it's now in over 800 plus chapters throughout the United States, and probably one near you, and you didn't even know it. You can go to their website. It's I always gotta plug it. It's reformu.com. I'm gonna actually see if I spelled that correctly. I believe I did. Yeah, I did. I spelled it incorrectly. R-E. There we go. Reformu.com. It's an older website, but the URL, but it does direct you. It does get you to the current, more popular URL. It reroutes you to the current one. So you're in South India. How did you just happen upon my my channel by swiping through the shorts, or Riverfront? You got to go. Well, hey brother, thanks for finding me, and another new interested person. It appears. Yeah, as you know, click the bell icon and the subscribe and the thumbs up, and you know the drill, and you'll know when I come. Oops, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me turn the volume down a bit. Weird how the volume is already turned down to the minimum, and when it comes back, it's really loud. Okay. There we go. I've got voice still. My microphone is well, thanks, Riverfront. Thank you. Yeah, I'll see you next time. It looks like in the morning, from 7 o'clock-ish in the morning until further notice. 2 or 3 hours is what I've been doing. Today is what, Wednesday? So I'm going to try to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How about that? Look for me on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 7 in the morning until, say, 10. My goal is to have a podcast interview, podcast with somebody in the medical field or prior medical field experience, and do a talk show and tell stories about pre-hospital emergency medicine, or medicine in particular, and just make it a live, or not live, but a recorded, show between two people. We'll see what comes of that. But in the meantime, I'm just using this to occupy my time. Awesome. Thanks again, Riverfront. I'll look up your, I don't know if you have a website or not. I'll look up your name, Riverfront Bates. Yeah, I'll talk to you more about that. Cool. Sunaina, sorry, I did see your last comment. And are you a man, a lady, Sunaina? Tell me about your life, your family. I take it you're probably a grandfather and or great grandmother, grandfather. How is your health at 89 years old? I've got a special elderly friend that is 85 now, I believe, and in incredible shape at his age. He's currently living in the Philippines. He got married to a Filipina lady and is living in her hometown in the Philippines. Six grandchildren. Awesome. Are you a great grandmother, father yet? Grandfather. Awesome. Well, your English typing is very good, Sunaina. Samuel, you're still there, it looks like. Oh, wait a minute. Why is this not up to date? Well, awesome. Have you ever been to America, Sunaina? Any studies abroad? And any particular fields of study? What did you do when you were younger? You studied in Russia. Oh, you are? Awesome. Maybe that's why you stopped. I am not a doctor. I don't know if you heard earlier. In the United States Marines, they call, I'm sorry, the United States Navy provides medical support for the United States Marine Corps. The Army has their own medical corps. The Air Force has their own medical department. But the Marines do not. The Navy provides medical support. So anybody in the medical field is referred to as doc in the field. So wherever you see the Marines on the ground, you will see a Navy corpsman amidst them. And hence I was, and this is the United States Marine Corps cover to their field or working uniform. And the United States Navy, that's the Navy insignia, second class petty officer in this instance, when I was embedded with them in 2004, 2005 over in Iraq. So when they want your attention, they yell, "Doc," whether you're a doctor or not. And even if you are a doctor, they're going to call you Doc if they need your attention. "Hey, Doc." So that's where my name came from. I was also a paramedic in the civilian world. Nagar, Varsha, I take it you may be from India as well. And so is Sunaina right above you. Well, I'm all ears, Sunaina, as far as your background. I will take a seat in the classroom and you can assume the teacher / professor position up front. It's always nice. Well, I'm hoping that I can have people like yourself up on stage in a pre-recorded setting. I'm sorry, yeah, pre-recorded setting where I can do an interview with somebody like yourself, and just tell me about you and past experiences. Whatever you fill in the blank, with memories of your experiences. And that was my whole reason for starting this channel, was to find people such as yourself and organize, a time when I could, where we could meet on video chat, and I'll hit the record button and we'll do, just a formal / informal interview. And I can just pick your brain and ask you questions, and you can fill the fill the video with or we can fill the video with stories, and then I'll edit it after I'm done and then release it. And I'd love to be able to do that as a regular thing, if I can get a customer base, if you want to call it that, interested people to come on board and do interviews. Because, as you know, anything to do with medicine seems to be an interest, to the public. Whether it's reality or if it's, whether it's a 911 call, or if it's a call in the hospital, or a patient that you had, or, I was saying that field of people, anything to do with the care or the injuries or the illness of people, seems to be an interest to the public. And it is proven by these reality shows where camera crews get on board, a fire truck or an ambulance, or in the emergency room, or wherever, and they're doing coverage, of reality, people care. And so why not do it in an interview setting, where I can interview a fellow person in the field and just talk about crazy, interesting, happy, sad, the whole gamut of human behavior. And I think that would hold people's attention. Well, Nagavarsha, Sunaina above you, is also from India, South India. What was your what's the word? What was your field of medicine? Was it family practice or emergency medicine or surgery? Um, what system was your focus, or were you like I said, family practice, and you were a jack of all trade? Cardiologist? No way, Sunaina, really? Now you put a smile on my face when you said that, because paramedicine, as you know, oh, you do know Nagavar, not a family member, is he or she? That's awesome. Oh my goodness, you're a cardiologist. Just to let you know, people in the audience, um, paramedics in the field, that is what, that was the reason why, original reason why paramedics were developed in the field, was to focus and emphasize on cardiology, cardiac problems in the field. And so, and then it expanded from there, and we started addressing all human behavior, things associated with humans, from trauma to medicine. And so cardiology is, oh, did you really? Oh my gosh, you guys, talk to me, educate me. I've been out of the field for I'm sorry, I stopped in 2008. So what, 16 years. But that's why I came into that's why I developed this channel, was to hopefully find people like yourself and not only talk, but have interviews. Maybe you can connect with my email address. You can find it in my channel description. If you click on the description at the top of the page, it'll drop down and you'll see my email. Yeah, drop me an email. I'd love to talk, and maybe if you're comfortable, we can set up an interview. And again, it'll be like a video chat between two of us, and literally, I'll record the meeting, and then I'll go to YouTube, and edit it, or use my editing software, and edit it into a an episode per se, and then release it onto YouTube and give it a title, and continue to do that, and have multiple, fill the channel. The channel would consist of, that. So yeah, and again, it's up to you. If you're interested, find my email in my description and leave me a message, and we'll go from there. Yeah, that would be cool. But anyways, cardiology, that is the focus of paramedic school. Actually, I used to teach ACLS as continuing education for those that needed to stay up on their ACLS certification. It's been a while, but yeah, that was that. The heart and the eyeball were really like interesting parts of the body, that really got my attention in the beginning. What's that? My wife's good and your 19 grandkids, Sunaina? Now, Sunaina told me 6. 19? Actually, that's what I expected him to say, because he's 89 years old. And so I was expecting him to say 19 grandchildren. Surgery, you said. That is your focus or your field was surgery, Nagavarsha? And what did you say, Sunaina? I asked you, what field of medicine were you in? Sorry about that. I was muted. Good morning, Aiden. Sunaina, I was asking, it's been a while. What are the attachments to the heart valves, to the heart called? Those little string attachments to the heart valve? And what type of surgery did you do, Nagavarsha? In what field? Is it ortho, abdomen, chest, neuro? What did you do? If you guys are still there, Sunaina. Is my audio still actively working? Let's see. Test, test, test. Yep. Looks like it's still working. It's kind of low. No? How about now? Test, test, test. Yeah, it sounds okay. I think. Check. Test, test, test. There we go. Looks like I got my audio back. Are you guys still there? MC, you're still hanging out? Are you in bed now, MC? Are you supine in bed? That means laying down, by the way. Supine. Bye, Nega. MC, Marie, are you there? Oh, Melody, sorry, I didn't see your comment. I don't know if you're still there. You said you're a book lover. Uh, Not so much books. I just want information, and if it takes reading a book, then I need to read it. Or if it's online or message or watching a video, listening to a radio station, public speaking, wherever I need to get to go or whatever I need to do to get the information. Oh, Mary Carr, are you still there? Hello, hello. You know what? My battery is going to end on my camera here soon. And you know what? I think I'm going to end my live only because it's a good time to end it is right when my battery is about to die. I've been on 2 hours. I'm surprised it didn't die 5-6 minutes ago. But I'm going to head out as an infant, like an infant. And as you were, ladies, gentlemen, thank you for coming. Original YouTube creator. I think you just, were you in the background the whole time and saying goodbye, or did you just come in? Thank you for stopping, though. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and, the rest. Bell notification. Leave a comment. Mason, wait, as soon as I said I'm going to leave, people are popping in. What's up, Mason? Now, where are you from, guys, girls? Original YouTube creator, Mason? Before I go, might as well chat at you for a bit. I do have a little bit more coffee. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll keep going until my coffee runs out. How about that? Are you still there, guys? Original YouTube creator and Mason? If not, I think I'm gonna see ya. Later, guys. As you were.